Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Holy Plot. And I got a bittersweet one for you today, guys, because my adventures with Superman is over now. We just watched the season finale. It's all done. We gotta wait. This is Liam, Jacob, and James. We just watched it together, literally like 60 seconds ago. But before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do by now. We're gonna have a full season review coming up shortly after this. And if you like what we do and want to see us talk some more animation, we are covering Fiona and Cake, the new Adventure Time spinoff. So look for that video as well. But Jacob, it's over, dude. What do you think?
All right, so I got two things. One, if you're sad that this is over, we do have season 2 on the way. It's already in production. Don't know about season 3, but that is true. And for the first time ever, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, this was not my favorite episode yet.
Wow.
Now, I
twist.
still think it was
Plot
really
twist.
good. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10, whereas I gave the past 2 a 9.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I still
me
think it was
too.
really good. It was not my favorite yet, which is really funny. We ended up breaking the streak, but I really did enjoy it. It kind of felt like an epilogue,
Yeah.
which
very
is
much
good
did.
because the show needed that serialization, and I think these last 3 episodes in particular just kind of finally executed that. And this
Last
episode deals
episode was
with
best.
last episode was the best,
It
but
was
this one's
definitely
still
the
very
best.
good. This is a very solid finale that I think does a very good job of tying together the theme of the show, and especially with the character of Sam Lane, we finally kind of get that coming to a head,
Confirmed.
and I think it was pretty good. James, what did you think?
Yeah, no. So the Sam Lane stuff start out, I thought was really good. I think that they did a good job making this version a bit more like semi-evil to start. I think that's a bit more
Yeah.
accurate to how he has been in the past compared to the Superman and Lois version.
I will admit,
I
I
re-
have Superman and Lois version is still kind of my favorite. I just love him too much.
Oh, absolutely. He's great. Now, but as far as what they're doing here, there's a lot of room for character development with this version of Sam Lane and Superman slowly like growing to work together.
Yeah.
And what that'll
Yeah.
do for him and Lois. So I like the starting point for this version of Sam Lane. Liam, what do you think of good old Sam?
Well, it was funny, the little scenes we got before the shit hit the fan. It was almost like I guess one more time. It was very, very Spider-Man-y to me. So it was another
Yeah.
spectacular Superman moment. But the whole girlfriend's dad is like an evil guy who knows the hero thing. That's just classic comic book stuff. You love to see it executed well here. I think they set him up really well throughout the whole series to be an understandable antagonist. And then I guess if it was kind of a reveal in this episode for people who aren't knowers, unless they showed that that was her dad earlier. I don't think they did.
No, they never really did.
That's fun if they're not
Sam
a
Lane
knower.
Sam Lane like rep and stuff like this is relatively new. The character has gone largely ignored in adaptations. So
Yeah. Well, I liked
and
it though, but my favorite part of this was definitely the ship sacrifice, pseudo sacrifice stuff that we got.
Yeah, that
The
was awesome.
action
Oh,
in this
yeah.
was really cool. I think one of the things that struck me about it that the show's been doing from the very beginning is understanding Superman as a character and what makes him tick and what makes him a hero that's worth caring about. Because we've talked about it before on the show. There are so many misconceptions about Superman being boring and being evil and being any number of things. This is a show that understands how interesting it is that a guy as powerful as Superman chooses to be good, which we need more of that. So, Jacob, what do you think of the ship?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of more what you said. It's just like understanding the character's motivations, and I mean, there's no doubt that he would do that in the scenario that he's under.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that even for more controversial versions of Superman, it did remind me of the BVS moment in a lot of ways. Taking the kryptonite, knowing it's gonna hurt him. I thought it was very cool. I enjoyed it, especially the action at the end where he like punches what I assume to be like red kryptonite. Can't really make it out, but
I
I
have
don't know.
no idea. Yeah, but
I don't think
I
it was
thought that
red
was very.
kryptonite.
I don't think it was red kryptonite because that didn't have the effect. I don't know. It was very cool.
Yeah. I think also as far as that whole sequence, the action storyboarding and the music just continue to get better in this show.
Oh, the music was phenomenal. I got
Yeah.
chills.
Yeah, music.
And
The
this was
music
a-
in the show is great.
But that is a good amount of progress for some of this stuff, like within just the first season. I am excited to see what a second season can do with upping animation and upping the music, because a lot of animated shows get that bump in the second season. So I hope this one does too.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking,
I totally agree with you, James. The show's action has just considerably gotten better, especially in these
Much better.
past 3 episodes. Like in the first 5, a lot of people were criticizing, typical modern animated storyboarding, but it's a lot better in these past 3, and especially in this one. I really
last
enjoyed
episode,
that.
it was just so peak when he was fighting Shin Godzilla, which
Yeah.
they kept the statue. I hope they keep that the whole show. That's so cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And like the Suicide Squad fight was so cool.
Well,
in the episode before that.
speaking of next season, what did we think about the little tease at the end there with our mystery characters?
Well, first off, do we agree on the theory that obviously one is Zod because he said Neil, so we're getting that. Do we think that the second guy was Brainiac? Do we all agree?
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I believe it is Zod and Brainiac.
Working
Might make
together, which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Like because I don't know. I feel like there's been so many shows and iterations of some of these characters that I've gotten a little bit pessimistic with, like, can they surprise me? Like when it was clear they were setting up Zod, I was like, yeah, but we've had a couple Zod stories. Like, what
I
can
love
you
Zod.
do?
I can never get enough of him.
Well, just the idea of pairing up two heavy hitter villains like that, like Brainiac and Zod, pairing up any of like Superman's like core 5 villains
Mhm.
is pretty wild because they get at odds with him.
It doesn't happen that often, too. I feel like we see like big Batman villains team up way more than
Spider-Man
Superman.
villains too. Yeah.
Like when was the
Well-
last time you can remember Zod and Brainiac palling it
Never.
up?
Never.
Yeah,
what I was
I
gonna
can't name anything.
You have,
Commenters,
like,
let us
a
know.
you have like a very emotional and aggressive military leader. I mean, cunning, but I mean, he can be emotional. He can lead with rage. And then you have Brainiac, who is a polar opposite in some ways.
Yeah, I'm
That
really,
is a
really excited for that dynamic.
And
Some de-
I assume that Alex or Lex will also come into play. So you have
Man,
the
that's the
big three.
top 3. That's
So
crazy.
you have the big
Yeah.
3 in one season. I mean, that's
Watch it end with Doomsday.
Oh, dude.
Oh no.
For the record, I would love to see Doomsday beat the shit out of this like humbly bumbly Superman. I think that would be great.
Well, I like
Well-
seeing a young Superman react to evil older Superman and just showing how, like, inherently the character would reject any possibility of that.
Yeah,
think
I
that's
think-
important.
It brought a tear to his eye.
I think the morality of Zod is gonna bounce off very well of the themes of the show and the character of this Clark. I think it's gonna do a lot. I think it's gonna be very good. If there was a
Well,
villain
agreed,
I would want them to do, I want them to do Zod. I think it's gonna be very, very good.
I, for one,
No.
am very, very excited for season 2. I think I'm gonna sit this episode at a solid 8,
Yeah, Sam.
and I think
8.
that's probably safe to call it the Holy Plot rating. If you want to hear our general thoughts, no pun intended, on where the
Oh,
show
man.
might go and what we thought of season 1, go check out our next video. It's going to be a little bit more in depth, all about season 1. But for this episode, we are sitting at an 8 out of 10. Like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.